es la voz de LA. It's like una galaxiana, come and kick it with us. I bring the bossa nova beats and talk the club that we love. Another year to adjust, and Will Kuntz we all trust. 6 titles in the cabin, tell a hater shut up. Mirar al horizonte con el cielo morado. Llegamos al estadio como siempre lo hago. Es la nueva temporada, ya cumplí 30 años. Rezándole a San Pequi que no dé al travesaño. Que repartan los balones y no sean tacaños. Que regrese el contraataque y que le hagamos daño. Un saludo para Robert, hermanos ecuatorianos. Que la táctica de Ananda nunca sean en vano. Si se trata de mi gala me levanto temprano. Ver el fur en verano, en el pasto tumbado. Siempre estoy a tu lado, en cualquier resultado. Vamos Galaxy, on top is where I gotta be. Chilling in the canopy, staging like a winery. Goles during rivalries, brew from the refinery. Only want the finer things, we letting you know. Lo que pasa en la galaxia, ready, let's start the show.
Hello, hola, and buenas, and welcome back to another episode of La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast always made with love for all you LA Galaxy fans and all you international soccer fans out there too. Hey, bring it on in here. You have a home. Today, we're going to be talking about the LA Galaxy, who have put Sadfu hours on hold tonight as they labored to put away a grueling 2-1 home win over FC Dallas on Saturday, October 11th, to get some revenge from last weekend, but they did so in an unconvincing fashion as they played a man up for almost 70-plus minutes. We'll look at what was different from last week to this, how this game changed in the early stages, which team was actually a man up, who were the stand-up performers for the Galaxy, and what the champs are looking to do in their final match of the season. We'll also be joined by MLS and Apple TV's Max Cordaro, who will give us his thoughts on Galaxylandia and everything surrounding it in 2025. Plus, we take you back to the international soccer window as some more countries have qualified for this year's World Cup finals. All that and more coming up on tonight's episode of La Cuna Galaxiana. We thank you so much for being here with us. And we're just going to get right into our one-word reactions because you're honestly just really here for Max. I know I would be. So, Ananda, there's a 2-1 win over Dallas, some revenge over last weekend. What's your one-word reaction?
Papa, I got actually it may be one-word reaction. Alcatraz. We escaped, Papa.
Oh,
we escaped.
okay.
That was my connection. Maybe it's a little far of a stretch, but that's my one word. It was an escape route, right? We escaped from obviously basically embarrassment from maybe not getting a result over 10-man Dallas. That's number one. We'll talk about this a little bit later, but doing the maths, we have escaped not being the worst team in MLS this season. So in that sense, we have escaped history, right? So this is a total escape job by the LA Galaxy. I think I felt more relieved than more than anything. That could have also been my one word. It's just a huge sigh of relief. But no, man, I tried to be heady and go for Alcatraz because it's a huge escape plan from the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was for me, it was kind of like a mixture of relief and irritation because, like you mentioned, they were playing a man up and didn't really seem like it, but they finally got that goal at the end, and so it was kind of just like a
guys, believe me, I was sitting next to Rob in the press box through that game, and I heard that sigh, guys. Trust me.
Well, it was long overdue, and so that's our one-word reactions here, guys. If you have them in chat, throw them in there. And speaking of chat, we thank you guys so very much for being here with us. We're like 2 or 3 subscribers away from 700. So if you want to be the lucky number, go ahead and be it. We would love you forever. Ananda will take a shot with you. Super chats are now available. So if you have a burning question for Max, if you have something to get off your chest that you want to tell us, go ahead and hit up those super chats. And if you're on X and Instagram, go ahead and pop on over to YouTube at some point and show us a little love and hit that subscribe. But we do thank you for watching, and we do appreciate it. And on Thursday, it's our listener appreciation pod. So this is our way of saying thank you to our community who we love. Thank you guys so much for being part of this journey and being a part of a really hard 2025, but we've made it together, and it's just one more game. And on Thursday, we're going to have some of you guys calling in live, and the the request line is live on Thursday. So anyway, we do thank you guys for being here. Ananda, anything else to add before we bring on the man of the moment, El Señor Maximiliano?
No, this is going to be a really special show, at least for me. I brought it up to Rob because you know how the Galaxy has fan appreciation night. And I mean, we're nothing without you guys. Like I said, like Rob and I could do this over beer and wings. This is how this pod started, right? But this is really for you guys. And so I'm just stoked to have the people that, you know, OGs, new listeners, old listeners, everyone who's always here in chat with us, lamenting about this team. You guys are going to get a chance to have your say. So I'm super, super excited for some of you guys to pop on and basically have your say. Have at it, guys. Have at it. Rob and I are going to be, you know, psychologists, counselors, psychiatrists, that whatever you need us to be, that's who we are. We'll be moderators that day for sure.
It'll literally be Lacuna After Dark. No agenda. You guys set the agenda, whatever you guys want to talk about. So, Adam, thank you so much for your super chat. We will get to it here. We're going to bring on Max, and you know, he's probably going to give a way more enlightened answer than we would anyway. So, today we're honored to have Max Cordaro, who's our special guest today. He's a veteran sports journalist covering the sport for 20 plus years. He's been there and done it, y'all. He knows ball. He's covered everything from the World Cup, La Copa America, La Champions in Europa. So like pretty much anything and everything you can imagine. Now you can catch him on the airwaves, of course, on Apple TV, where he serves as a Spanish language analyst for MLS Season Pass. We want to say thank you so much for his graciousness and his time. Welcome, Max. Thank you so much for being here. Gracias por estar con nosotros aquí ahora noche en la Cuna Galaxiana.
Bienvenidos.
Hey guys. First of all, I love the game. I love the podcast that you guys have. The name is spectacular, La Cuna Galaxiana, very original, and that's what we need in MLS. This kinds of projects, this kinds of programs that helps to, you know, be in touch with the community, create public opinion, create conversation that can spread to a bar, to a coffee shop, to the streets, because that's what MLS needs. So congratulations for this podcast. And well, I'm ready to talk about the Galaxy. I know that has been a very difficult season and a very peculiar one, because analyzing a current champion in this position, it's like mind-blowing, guys.
Well, you might have heard us backstage do a kind of one-word reaction to the game over this past weekend. Do you maybe have a one-word reaction for the season, for the Galaxy's entire 2025?
I would say it's like a paradox, because the way that Galaxy competed in 2024, the way that championship was built, it is amazing to see how that energy like fell apart. And I can understand that without a guy like Riqui Puig, you become a team that maybe is not championship label, but still Galaxy has a very interesting core. Defensive phase has been very chaotic this season, and a lot of games and especially a lot of points were lost with very like strange mistakes that we don't see in professional soccer. But yet it's still interesting to see that the team has a project with Vanney towards the future. And who knows, 2023 was a disaster. 2024 was a year of glory. And who knows that maybe all this final stage of 2025 will help Greg to build a great Galaxy team for 2026.
Yeah, you know, it kind of seems like, just like you mentioned, 2023, it was very low. 2024, campeones, right? 2025, it's low again. And then 2026, at least the fans are hoping that, you know, Greg Vanney's building that product that you mentioned. But
ojalá, señores, señores, por la hinchada aquí. Oof. Yeah.
But have in your time of working in soccer, have you ever seen a drop off this hard from a champion from one season to the next for whatever reason?
No. And especially how the team began the season was a catastrophic record for the league. And of course there are a lot of factors. The football factor would be the first, but then a lot of psychological factors enter in this like horrendous streak that the Galaxy had at the beginning of the season. But no, this is a case that we have to bring to everyone that do history about this game, because it's a very peculiar situation, and especially having guys like Marco Reus, like Peck, like Painsi, like Yoshida. That's what I was saying. The core is good, but something like broke, and this team fell apart. And what I think is that Greg and his staff, they were realistic, and after they knew that it was almost impossible make a playoff bound, they start thinking about next season. And I don't know if that's something that the fan base likes, because Galaxy fan base is one of the most demanding in MLS, maybe the most demanding fan base in MLS. We're talking about tradition, we're talking about story, we're talking about greatness. So it's not easy to say to fans, hey, wait me until next season, I will be better. It's not easy. But I think that's the plan. Let's see how the sports management handles in the offseason and which kind of signings Galaxy will do, because that's going to be a key factor to understand which kind of team we will see in 2026.
You mentioned the Marco Reus's and the Joseph Paintos and stuff like that, but on paper the team looks good, right? They should have at least contended even without Riqui Puig, right? It didn't happen for whatever reason. In your view, what did they lack? I mean, what was missing?
Well, consistency, that was a first for sure, as a factor why this team had such a poor performance all over 2025. And then those minor details. If you analyze Galaxy matches, a lot of games were lost or drawn in the final minutes because some miscommunication, yes, some defensive mistake. And I'm not saying that the team would qualify to the playoffs, but at least make a all different run, maybe be a contender until the last 5 match days to at least compete for a spot. But of course, I think the lack of consistency was the first. That the team, especially physically, it seemed really heavy on the first 10 games, where practically all players' hopes were already like zero. But yeah, so it is very important that this learning curve can be important for Greg Vanney and his coaching staff to understand which kind of a judgment the team needs for next season.
Yeah, I mean, Max, go ahead, Rob.
No, I was just gonna say. I mean, Max basically said something that I quote the Dalai Lama on all the time here on this show, which is, when you lose, don't lose the lesson, right? Like, right, Max is saying, hopefully Greg learns from this, and you're right, Max. They are looking ahead to 2026, and hopefully they are implementing those lessons. And sorry to cut you off, Ananda.
No. Well, you guys kind of, you know how you like your segues, Rob, and you guys are just talking about Greg Vanney right now. So I wanted to ask Max, like, as someone that covers this league, you look around all the different situations around the league, and you see LA Galaxies with Greg Vanney. And when the news of the extension dropped, when it did, were you just as surprised as all the other Galaxy fans and maybe all the other pundits around the league?
that's interesting because yes and no. Yes, of course, because the situation of the team, the way the team was competing at that point. But no, because I know the capabilities that Greg Vanney has, the way that he prepared for this role, the way he knows the league and he knows how to be successful in this league. And I think it's just a matter that the sports management of the Galaxy, they think this is the right guy to lead us to a bright future. And of course, it helps the fact that he already won here. So
Right.
I think that was a key factor to say we already won with him. This is a guy that knows how to rebuild a complex situation and turn to a successful situation. But yet, I think until this second collapse, that has to be the last collapse that Galaxy has to have, because like I was saying, this is one of the big teams in the league. Galaxy needs to compete every single year. You're not going to win every single season, but Galaxy, they need to be always on top.
Claro.
Playoff bound, MLS
Right.
Cup bound, title bound. But let's see how this project rebuilds in 2026, how Greg will put like his mark, his signature, and I think that will be like the ultimate test for this project.
Yeah, Max, you were kind of alluding to my next question. You know, the Galaxy has that standard, right? You just mentioned it, and on this podcast a couple of times recently, we've talked about the Galaxy's inconsistency, not just this year, but as the team. They had the decade under Chris Klein that was bad. They had a kind of turbulent past couple of years, and then you look at a Western Conference rival like a Seattle, right, who's been the opposite, a model of consistency, and pretty much won everything out there. So just based on where the Galaxy are today, would you still consider them one of the MLS heavyweights or one of MLS's elite teams?
Well, the fact that they won last season, that helps a lot, like to put like a band-aid to the recent past of the club. But of course, they need to be more competitive. And you put a perfect example. Seattle, they might not win, but they always there.
Right.
And of course, they won the Leagues Cup. They recently won in CONCACAF as well. And Seattle, you always have the feeling that they're going to be there competing. Galaxy lost that certainty, even with the 2024 championship. So I think that has to be the main goal, to build a solid roster, to, of course, trust in the academy, to give space to young talent. That's a key thing too, or have a good scout for young players around the country. But yes, I know that Galaxy fans expect that because it is a big club. And I remember in 2023 when some fans, they were very disappointed, and they talked with the players and with Greg Vanney as well.
Mhm.
And this thing never happened and doesn't happen in MLS. And I'm not saying it's a good thing, of course. And if you're gonna do, if you want to be critic or you want to protest, you have to do it in a good way, in a civilized way. But that explains to you how big Galaxy is, how the fan base is persistent, how the fan base has been for decades, how the fans go to the stadium and they expect good soccer and they expect results. So I expect from this project to be more consistent. You're not going to win every single season, but this roller coaster like championship, last place, playoff, last place, is not what Galaxy is for sure.
Yeah, no, you're very right. I mean, for the fans, I mean, ellos están aquí también así como la novia fea, así como like,
Yeah.
¿qué vamos a esperar este año, right? And every year, you know, it's, you know, they expect that title, and it's kind of a crapshoot every year, right? But we here on at least myself, sometimes Ananda when he's not cranky, but I like to you know, as much as I criticize the team and what they've done this year, I also try to find the silver lining, right? And you mentioned Greg and his staff already looking towards 2026, and he's started to play some of the kids, right? I mean, you've seen the make meaningful contributions. Which one of those young players that the Galaxy have given a chance to recently has you excited?
Well, I think there are a few that I could think. The thing is that Vanney, I don't know if he really took advantage of all these games without possibility to reach the playoffs, because he always tried to have the best 11 possible. And the problem is that you are the Galaxy. Yeah. You're on the bottom of the Western Conference, but yet the team had a much better second round of the season. And I think maybe in another club like, I don't know, St. Louis or Montreal or even Houston, you could make more experiments and put out there the young players, but not in the LA Galaxy. So that's why, we saw some interesting young talent, but not a lot, because the 11 was like pretty much the same in every single match day. Maybe on the last game against FC Dallas, because the injuries and the international call-ups, we saw a little bit of difference. But that's the thing that the Galaxy need as well: young talent, new blood. You know.
You're not wrong. I mean, we've been calling for Greg to play those kids for a little while. We've had a couple of your colleagues from MLS, and you know, they've all in different ways, you know, waxed poetic on Riqui Puig, and you know, some have even said that his return next year makes the Galaxy instant contenders once again. What are your thoughts about, you know, Riqui and is you know, are they right on? Is that statement right on, or do you think they need a little something else? You mentioned the defense at the top as being a big issue.
No, they need to be aggressive on the market. I understand the kind of impact that a player like Riqui Puig gives you. It's a player that can master the midfield. Is a player that his intelligence, even not being the fastest, he knows how to enter into the box and have impact. His vision is fantastic, but I think it's not enough. This team needs to be aggressive on the transfer market, bring 2 or 3 solid players to give more depth to the defense. Even, I think, a number 9, a guy that gives you goals. Joveljic did that. He maybe is not the most technical striker on the league, but he knows how to score. And you guys need a guy that finalizes all the chances that Galaxy creates, because this team creates a lot of chances. Yeah. But that last touch, you guys lost it this season, for example. So I think it's going to be a huge impact, the return of Riqui. Galaxy is going to be a different team, but it's not a 180 jump. You guys need to, you know, be attentive to the transfer market and have some good additions.
Yeah, I mean, Max, we've argued on the show, like, recientemente, we basically need a new spine. Like we need to rejig our spine. I mean, we lost our spine from the 24 championship season, from the goalkeeper all the way to Dayon, right? And guys like Mark Delgado, Riqui Puig through injury in between. So you're not very far off. And I think your point is very valid. And I think a lot of Galaxy fans that we talk to on the show, that we see on our timelines, they're seeing the same thing. So it might be a bigger job than we think, but hopefully the time will tell on how quickly this new team will gel next year. And you know what? Depending on what the draw is for CCC, we might have to gel quicker than normal, right, Baba?
First week in February, actually,
Correct.
if the Galaxy get that first week draw. But Max, looking ahead, we know you're calling this game, the Galaxy's last one, against Minnesota, and so this one is, a top 4 club in the Western Conference, a team that's very organized defensively, very tidy, against a team that's last place in the West. Minnesota has something to play for. The Galaxy doesn't. Minnesota can pretty much sew up home field advantage, but the Galaxy probably want to end the season on a high note there at home in front of their fans. What kind of game are you expecting? Are you expecting a slugfest because of that, or just is Minnesota on a different level?
Well, it is on a different level for sure. It's a very solid team. Eric Ramsey has done a fantastic job with the Loons. They have the leadership of Boxall in the defense. I think that the signing of Triantis on the midfield is key, because this is a midfielder that can cover the whole field, but can have impact with his strike from the distance. Then you have Pereira, that is a talent. The only problem that Minnesota has right now is that they don't have a number 9, because Kelvin Yeboah is injured. He's day by day. He doesn't know yet if he's going to be ready for the playoffs. So it's a good team, but without a number 9, I don't know if they can make a run to the finals. I don't know. But of course, analyzing this particular match, their favorite, but I think Galaxy needs to have a game of intensity, of commitment, of honor to the fans. They have to see this game as a final, and at least to have this bittersweet end that can lead towards a brighter future. So I think it's a game that Galaxy definitely needs to prove themselves to the fan base, to themselves. So it's going to be interesting for sure.
Max, we have just 2 more for you, and then we're gonna let you go. Thank you so much again for being here with us. Who are the players to watch on the Galaxy, and then for Minnesota, if you had to pick one on each side, that's going to be that X factor for their team?
Well, for me, always from the Galaxy, I would say Paintsel. That's a guy that can break you in 2. Is a guy that is good in transition, is good on duels on the sideline, is a guy that even has an impact with goals. And in Minnesota, if he plays, I think Pereira is such a talented player. He knows how to control the ball. He knows how to manage the time of the game to his benefit. So I would say those 2. In case of Paintsel starts, because I don't know what kind of lineup Greg is going to use. I know that you guys have a lot of injury players, such as Marco Roy. So let's see what starting 11 you guys will have.
Yeah, and Paintsel's riding high, Buff, because Ghana just qualified, right? So he's probably in good form, looking to close out the season strong, especially off that high for being with Ghana.
And now, la pregunta, la más importante, the big question, the one that we always close with. If you had to predict who is going to win this match, who would it be?
I'm going to go with a fun football match, 2-2. I don't know why I think that both teams are going to show interesting things. Galaxy for the honor. Minnesota, they already top 4, but maybe get a better spot for the playoffs. So there's something in line for them as well. I'm going to say a 2-2.
Y'all heard it here, Cunetos. Max is calling it a 2-2 draw, which still sends you home not sad at the very least, because it's not a loss at home. Max, would you go ahead and tell chat where they can find you online and in the socials, and then we know you're calling this match, but where else can we see your call?
Well, guys, thank you very much for the invitation. I had a great time. My handle on social media is at Max Cordaro. It's not Cordero, it's Cordaro with an A. And I work in the Telemundo station here in the Bay Area, Telemundo 48.
Bay Area, so, right on.
Yeah, I cover Quakes, Warriors, Giants, Niners, you name it.
Oh man, I spent 11 years in the Bay, and she's beautiful. LA's home, but I definitely miss the Bay, man. I mean, Santon wings, you can't beat them.
Oh man, I'm glad you enjoy your time here.
well, thank you, Max. We hope you enjoyed your time here with us. Open invitation for you to come back whenever you'd like, whenever you're free. And again, thank you so much for your graciousness and with your time. We appreciate it.
For sure, guys. Keep up with the good work. Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you, Max. Cheers. Bye-bye. Hey, let's go ahead and first off and foremost say thank you to Max Cunetos for his willingness to be on here with us so late. We know that it's kind of like for people that are living active lifestyles and stuff like that. 9 o'clock is either you're just like right in the swing of things, or you are asleep and stuff like that. So we know that 9 o'clock is difficult for some people. So we just want to say thanks once again to Max. And as well as I think, Ananda, it's time to get to that super chat that we had earlier, right?
Yes, sir. So we didn't forget about you, Adam. So Adam DC42 says, any key takeaway for end of season for both of you? I mean, other than we suck. No. Let me be smarter about this. You go ahead, Rob. You go ahead.
You know what? I actually am glad that we took the super chat after we spoke to Max, because he said a couple of things that we've already kind of known to be true, but it's nice to verbalize on these things. Is that the Galaxy are already in full swing of 2026 planning in 2026 mode, right? They know they need to be. Ananda mentioned that the CCC draws is right around the corner. I believe it's like a December 9th, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the Galaxy will know when they're going to be playing. But one thing is for sure, they will be playing either that first or third week of February. So if it's not either the third, between the 3rd and the 5th, it's, I believe, the 17th through the 19th. So either way, that's not a lot more time. I mean, it's a week and a half, 2 weeks more. But yeah, they got to be ready. And that's why they're looking already ahead towards 2026, because they should be. I mean, there's really nothing to play for this year, and that's exactly what they should be doing. So that's my key takeaway, Adam, is that I feel good about the fact that they're being proactive for 2026.
Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to think, like, there's so many takeaways from the season. I think, though, we've probably talked about it to death, especially for all the listeners that, usually pop in and you guys have listened to. So I don't want to beat on the same drum again, but I'm going to take a different angle about this, Rob. And maybe this is like a philosophical thing, but it's almost like we as I'm talking about like we now, even though like obviously like I'm heading up with you now, I'm part of the media, etc. But as a fan, Rob, as a fan of this team, I think we just can't take for granted when we have amazing moments in seasons like we did last year, because things can fall apart so quickly in such a short period of time, right? So like the takeaway for me is, number one, it's really hard being consistent, but that's something that this organization needs to strive through. strive to, but at the same time, like as fans, like we just need to appreciate the journey, the ride, especially those moments when they come,
Cool runnings.
because you just never know. You just never know when things are going to go back to the bottom. And like, I mean, the roller coaster from 23 to 24 to 25 has been pretty insane. Like, I don't know how Galaxy fans are able to keep up with this, but y'all do, right? And las buenas en las malas. So
there's a reason we call the Galaxy La Toxica, bro. It's like,
yep,
it's that toxic relationship. At least the last couple of years have been.
Yeah. So that's the big takeaway for me, man. Like, just like when the moments come, like just enjoy it, like enjoy every moment. But it's also like, you know, maybe this makes the journey back to the top that much sweeter this year. I don't know. Like we just don't know. But I think this now goes to your point about like the Galaxy need to be ready for 26, and hopefully they're already tooling, you know, like you said.
Oh, bro, they need to come out in 2026 with that chip on their shoulder. Like
that's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying.
Just that hambre, that hunger, man. Just they need to go out there and really get after it, just like since day one. Big XPH, executive producer Herb, hit us up with the super chat. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much. He says, hey, Rob. Hey, Ananda. Conca Champions draw means the Galaxy's participation in CVI may be limited or not at all, right? Yeah, I mean, Ananda and I have talked about what this could mean, right? Like what the Galaxy's participation in the Champions Cup and that draw does. I mean, we just discussed how they could either be playing in the first week or at the very least the third week. So, you know, it's kind of still up in the air to see like what's going to happen. I'm sure, you know, the powers that be over there at the Galaxy are working on something, but I would not hate for the Galaxy to play in the Champions Cup. I would love that. That's happening, but I would hate for them not to be able to participate in the CVI because that they're playing in the Champions Cup.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But again, as I said before, no decisions are going to be made until that draw is released, right? And then we go from there. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, Ananda,
¿Qué pasó?
Lop saying is right. He's not in Las Malas. Many fans quit. They will come back only if the team improves. Very few.
Yeah, that's definitely partially right. But then, of course, you have those fans that just are not going because of things happening off the pitch, right? That have been well documented. So there, it comes in all forms, Lob saying, and this is like I said it maybe a couple pods ago. This is the very disheartening thing. I think shout out Primo Matthew in the chat, comments 96. He said it really well in one of the I don't know if it was a super chat or he just messaged us saying that basically all the goodwill in 2024 was lost this season, just like that. And that's probably the most disheartening thing that you can take away. I mean, talk about a takeaway of the season, Papa. If you think about that as a takeaway, that's probably like the most disheartening thing about this season.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I mean, that is a very big takeaway from the season, that there's just not just such a difference on the field. There's such a difference in the stands as well. And that's a big that's like a big thing for the players, right? I mean, like I shared with you the other day that in my phone, you know, just sends me random videos and photos as memories, and then October 5th last year popped up, and man, the Digs was rocking. It was a rocking, man. It was full swing. I mean, just it was nice. And then a little bit later that day, I went over there, and you know, it was very, very different. So,
yeah, I mean, like just the other day. I mean, we'll obviously we'll talk about the preview, or sorry, the reaction and everything. But I mean, there was a lot of empty. You can see a lot of blue chairs in that stadium, man, and it's disheartening. It's definitely disheartening. Definitely a big takeaway of the season. I'm sure that will roll on through next season. Papa, we got another one here from Edgar Nags, aka Kansas 462.
Oh,
Kansas 462. Yeah, you got to let us in on the genesis of that one, Edgar. But he said, much respect, Lacuna. Do you think Galaxy will be back in the playoffs in 26? If I'm going to answer that right now, they better be. That's my answer. If they're having a bad season, will Vanney make it past the summer? I think for me, I'm going to tackle this one, Rob. For me, it's going to be the same conversation we had coming into 2024, right? Greg's got to come out the blocks. He's got to come out swinging. His team's got to come out swinging. And this year, it's going to come out swinging in the CCC, right? Because that's probably going to be the first game that we play because we don't get a first round bye this year. So I think from those first few games, we will see how Vanney's team responds. I mean, let's put it this way. If the team, forget record for a second, if the team continues to drop points and lose games the way they have in the dying embers from silly mistakes and, you know, all this stuff, I mean, he's already starting on the hot seat, but he will get even more in the hot seat. And I don't know, I couldn't tell you how many games that will last, but you know, it's not many in my opinion.
First off, what up, y'all in chat? Much love to y'all. What's up, Scott? Yeah, I mean, it might be. I mean, who knows? But no, I mean, I do think they'll be back in the playoffs in 2026.
Better be.
Well, no, I do think so. I'm going to go ahead and bet the farm on that they will. Riqui Puig will be back, and as much as we want to say, like, you know, just one player won't lift that much. I mean, he is going to make a big difference, and I think, I mean, just by virtue of him being on the field, they'll pick up the necessary points to be at least a playoff team. I mean, what is the playoff line right now? What 40 points?
40 points. Yeah, I mean, it's always around 40 points, right?
Yeah,
when we're doing our maths, like 40. Yeah.
And you brought up the other day that the Galaxy have dropped 14 points from losing positions.
Yes.
So they're on 27 right now.
27, yeah. So 41.
Right.
I mean, maybe like let's just call it 38. They'd be
around there, right?
They would have a shot for sure.
Yeah, so I do think they'll be back in the playoffs in 2026. How deep into the playoffs they'll go is another question. And yeah, no, I mean they can't wait to make a decision on if it starts to go bad. Like you just have to be judicious with the decision. Say, okay, like it's gonna be, this is the cutoff date, and just make a decision real quick. But then again, you get into the almighty who replaces them kind of conversations. So.
I think the offseason will be super interesting. Like Josh has been talking a lot about also the World Cup affecting your roster decisions, right? And when you make those moves, if I'm not mistaken, Rob, we're very slim on international roster slots. So that's another there's a lot of considerations that we'll definitely delve into in the offseason. So stick around with us, guys, because it should be a fun offseason. And you know what? Decisions have to be made like late November. I forgot what the timeline was, but late November, like you've got to decide on those contract extensions or those team options or not, right? So it's going to be a very interesting summer, man. That's for sure. No shortage of news.
Yeah, no shortage of news, and this team is going to look a lot different. But before we go any further, I think this is a good opportunity to say, hey, chat, if you love us and you like something we're doing, go ahead and hit that subscribe, hit that like. We'll love you forever. Ananda will take a shot with you. Promise. Let's get into this game, man. Let's get into this game reaction. I just want to say I was a brujo. I called this 2-1 win.
You did. You absolutely did. So, and Jose is a very, very upset man today.
Yeah, well, I just got to say, the homie Logan Farrington made me look like a genius. So shout out to him. Shout out to the banker homie Cappies, who was wearing the armband actually for Dallas. So that's kind of interesting. Not only can he balance your checkbook, but he can lead out your team on match day. So anyway, let's start where we all start, Ananda. With this starting lineup, Max talked about it, how the Galaxy had a bunch of injuries going into this one, international duty as well. What did you see from Greg's lineup?
Yeah, I mean, because of the injuries, I think.
Oh wait, you were a brujo on this one too, though.
Yeah, the one thing that was in my mind, on my mind, that we talked about last time was, what do we do without Joseph Paintsel, right? Because he's off with Ghana on international duty, and so I said, well, maybe you put in an Aude, who I don't believe was on the bench, Rob, for this game. So the other option would have been Cuevas, and that's what ended up happening. On the graphic there, it showed that he lined up on the right, but he was more on the left-hand side, trying to cut in on his right, and Peck was on the opposite side. I don't know if they switched sides through the game or not, but that seemed to look. We know that Harbor Miller and Mo Cuevas are versatile players. Greg has seen that versatility in them. And this, Rob, this is something now very interesting for next year that we got to think about, which is the versatility of these players might influence some roster decisions, right? Like, okay, like we don't have a backup winger per se, because I don't think we've even had one since like Johnny Perez or whatnot. I can't even think of the last one. But now you have these young guys coming in that can play that position. So that's something to think about, right? That's something that these guys have showed us this year. So maybe it's not just fullback. Maybe it is also winger if they need to play in that auxiliary position. So again, these are good notes to take for the front office, and Greg.
Yeah, so you did call Cuevas being in that lineup. So congratulations for being able to on this one. But yeah, I mean, Galaxy had, again, Maya Ramirez and Abria Royce. So Greg plays what he can, right? Shout out Robot. Saludos desde Ecuador. Ñaño, gracias por escucharnos. We really do appreciate that. Lacuna, from here to Ecuador, baby, we love y'all. Thank you. And you know, in these absences, people gotta step up and kind of take that next man up mentality. And at the beginning of the year, there was some injuries, and there was a player that I had kind of high hopes for that, and at the beginning of the year, he kind of wasn't doing it. Went out to VCFC a little bit, came back, started hitting some good performances, and you saw another one of those good performances in this one from this guy Elijah Wynder, and yeah, I mean Ananda, I know that you wanted to go ahead and talk a little bit about him with your player spotlight.
Yeah, I mean, he really stood out on this game, Rob, and he also showed us a different facet of his game that he hasn't had the ability to show us yet. But if I just go through the stat sheet, Papa, really, really solid. FOTMob had him at an 8.1 rating. Of course, he scored the goal on 4 shots, 85% pass accuracy, 35 out of 41. Expected goal involvement, 0.78, so pretty decent there. I mean, again, because of that chance that he had. But, he did look threatening when he played a little further forward, right? Just looking at some of these other ones here, defensive contributions, Rob. So he had 2. He had a tackle and a block, 4 recoveries. He won, let's see here. He won 3 out of his 5 duels. So statistically, he had a really, really solid game. And of course, the goal kind of capped it off. But I mean, like you said, this is a guy that we saw little glimpses and hints even in the CVI. Like his physicality for me stood out right away. It was just a matter of like how quickly could he get into Greg's system or sort of understand Greg's system, especially for a midfielder, not the easiest position to play, right? Especially for Greg. That's why he's had like midfield generals like Mark Delgado, who's been in the system maybe since the Toronto days, that proved to be the linchpins of that midfield. But Rob, we did have a chance to talk to Elijah post-match, and he talked about sort of his year and his growth. And so enough of us knuckleheads. Let's hear from LA Galaxy midfielder Elijah Wynder.
What's up, Elijah?
I've learned a lot this year. I mean, coming into this team with the system that Greg wants to play, it was very difficult for me at first because I wasn't used to the style he wants to play. But I think the first 6 months, I took it on to learn, and they helped me out a lot with that. So I think as of recently, I've learned a lot, gotten more comfortable in the system, and I can't wait to keep building on this.
Elijah, what's the biggest thing you had to learn?
I think it's he likes to manipulate the opponents with the midfielders, and I was not used to where to show up, when to get out, all that. So I spent a whole lot of time with the coaching staff, like Nick, JB, with movements and when to do that, timing and stuff like that.
I thought that last comment was super interesting.
Yeah, well, and I'll share something that I thought was interesting here in a second, but really quick, I want to say thank you to Adam for his super chat. It says, will next Monday be the last show of the season? Oh no, this party don't stop, baby. The train rolls on. The train rolls on. Let's go. It's definitely not going to be the last show of the season. Truth be told, our fearless producer / my co-host Ananda and I have been talking about how to make this show better for you guys. And on occasion there will be weeks here and over the summer that or short break that the Galaxy aren't playing that we might miss a day or two, but it'll always be in service of making the show better. We promise. But no, we are pretty much going to be with you through the entire thing, y'all. So like I said, this party don't stop. And speaking of parties, this game had a Central American Heritage celebration before the match. There was a live band at a couple of the tailgates and stuff like that. So it was interesting when I got to this match and I saw kind of the festivities outside that it didn't really translate inside the stadium. In fact, before the match, V Block, they showed off the Monarch Butterfly, which I don't know if you guys are up on game, but the Monarch Butterfly is a symbol of migration, and of course, V Block showed off Immigrants Welcome, and and I mean, like I said, if you're not up on game, the butterfly is traditionally a migratory insect that doesn't stay in one place for too long, and it's a symbol for immigrant rights because of the monarch butterfly in particular is usually takes on like really arduous migrations, and so it symbolizes that resilience of the real life immigrant and the dignity that they should all be given. So congratulations to V Block, and thanks to V Block for again reminding us what we are actually fighting for, which is just a little bit of dignity. So much love to V Block and those that are doing what they're doing out there. And then Ananda, we get into match summary proper. Like I mentioned, I'm a brujo. I called that 2-1, but the homie Logan Farrington helped me out because his moment of madness in the 16th minute left this team down to 10 men. I'm gonna say it really, really nicely and diplomatically that he and Mauricio Cuevas had an altercation, and they got into a little bit of a tussle, and then he stomped on Mauricio Cuevas. That's the diplomatic version, Ananda. Do you want to hit me with the translation?
He quote unquote stomped him in his growing area, I guess what Greg would say.
That's hilarious. I didn't catch that if he did say that. No, I don't know if you.
No, he didn't say that. I just threw that in there.
That's really good though. There's a show called The Boondocks, and there was a rapper called Thugnificent in that one, and then he had a song called "Stomp Him in the Nuts." Well, this was a real life interpretation of that. Logan Farrington thought he was in that music video for a quick minute, and I don't know why you do this. I mean, like, I don't know, like, okay, this could have, like, you could have gotten away with this back in the 90s when there weren't so many cameras around. Like, now there are cameras on you every which way. You cannot get away with shit like this anymore.
Yeah, and not just that too. Like, well, there's two things. One is the camera angle that we saw, like the replay, it didn't look like much, but maybe the referee was a lot closer and he saw something like more deliberate, right? But it didn't look like much, right? But like even when we were in the box, like looking at the replay, we were like, it didn't really look like much.
It didn't look like much, but Mao's reaction, I was like, oh, what?
Yeah. So that's one thing. Then the other thing is, what was I gonna say? Yeah. So the fact that you do this on a game that means so much to your team, and now, Baba, so he is out for Dallas's last game, and they have to win that, or some other scenarios. Like it's a crazy mumbo jumbo of scenarios where with Dallas has to make the playoffs. But not only that, to add insult to injury, Peter Musa picks up a yellow card in the second half that also disqualifies him from the next
No
match. So they are
way.
out. They are out. Their front two attackers against Vancouver away from home, a team that the first place team in the West that they need to get a result at to
How
have a chance
angry
to get
is
in.
Jose?
Bro, I don't. It's Bromigo is going off right now. I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro, amigos. Man, sending you much love. If you're listening to this,
Yep.
sending you much love, man.
Yep.
We have another super chat from the homie Adam. He says, "Have you guys ever thought of doing a live show in the future anywhere, perhaps at a restaurant like El Pescador or anywhere local in the area?" Thank you. No, thank you, man, for another super chat. We really appreciate it. We've talked about it. We've gotten a couple offers even from some cuneros that have been here in chat that have said, do a live show here. And when we do it, we want to do it super, super live for you guys and super, super well, so that you guys have a good time. And it's, for lack of a better term, it's not bootleg, and it's you guys have an actual good experience, and so we've played around with a couple different ideas. Hopefully,
it's in the works. Though. It's in the works. For sure. It's on the
hopefully
plan.
next season we have execution around those ideas, and we're working on a couple things, like Ananda said, but
exactly.
Live show incoming sometime. Someplace
that's on the to-do list for
somewhere.
season 4. That's for sure. Live show. That's on the to-do list for season 4.
I'm saying in the near future. GCam says live show from the Chris Burgers and Kudahe. I'm super down. Or Teddy Red's Tacos. I'm down from live show from there as well. Exactly. Sheesh, indeed. If you know, you know.
Yep.
So anyway, Farrington has a moment of madness. He gets sent off. Leaves his team down to 10 men for pretty much 75 plus. I mean, this challenge was so just momentous that even Diego Fagundes got caught up in it, and he went down as well. But after everything, calms down and Farrington leaves the field with the red, the game gets back to it, and there's really no change. The Galaxy don't approach this game as if they're a man up at all. Ananda and I just started looking at each other like, they know they're a man up, right? And he's like, I think they do, right? And so
Josh hears us sitting next to us like, I for sure think they know that. Yes, I'm sure Vanney told them.
Yes, no, I mean, but they certainly weren't playing like it. We have another super chat. Thank you so much. How do you say this? Crazy brain.
Yeah.
Crazy brain. Cool. Okay. From your press, do you feel any players that aren't happy to be on Galaxy, like Ramirez, Royce, your guys' Halloween plans, traditions? Ananda, should I go? Do you want to
go? Go. Because I don't know if I have enough insight on this one, to be honest.
Maybe it's me just being naive, but I feel like the players all get along pretty well. And so I don't really think that none of them are not happy to be on the team. I feel like there are players that are unhappy with the amount of playing time they're getting.
Sure, that happens in any team, so I agree with that. Yeah,
right. But I don't think there's like a particular player that I can be like, oh, every time he talks to us, he's salty or he talks, bad on the team or anything. Like, no, that's never been the case. So I don't really think there's any player that's not happy to be on the team. I
could speak for probably all the players, and I don't think this is like, what is it called? Speculation at all, but crazy brain. Like, I just don't think they're happy being on a losing team. Like that's really it. Like, I don't think any of the players are happy about the situation. Right. So, and we felt the frustration, in the post matches and stuff. So, but really quick, my Halloween plans, you know what? I have no idea, Papa. I was actually going to text you about what your Halloween plans are this year, because trick or treat's kind of like in my area. You've been to my house before. It's not really like a thing. Like, I think they just go to like the nicer houses, because our house isn't nice enough for them to have like whole candy bars or, whatever. So they probably go to like, like the more like the bougie places, where they could get whole candy bars. So I don't know. I'm not sure.
Well, then, text away, because I have us covered for
Okay.
So Crazy Rain, Ananda and I are going to be going out with the ministers of finance. I don't know if on Halloween proper, but definitely doing some Halloween festivities. So hopefully you get into something fun as well. Why? What, you got a rager going? Let us know. What's up? Anyway,
Are we invited?
yeah. What's up? Anyway, but thank you so much for the super chat. Rally, ¿qué pasó, hombre? Thank you so much for the super chat. It says, "What's up with some Cunero merch? LCG
Hey,
socks."
That's
Well,
on the list too. That's on the list
gotta-
too for season
Gotta
4,
be high
Baba.
socks, Papa. That
Yeah.
because we gotta do the
like
socks
up to
thing.
the knee, right? Up to the knee.
Exactly.
No peds,
exactly.
no peds. Up to the knee.
LCG Riquinho pajamas. Damn, I would love that. Oh, that's so fire.
Hey, but Raul G, that's on the list. That is on my list for season 4 as well. So again, guys, the off season doesn't stop for us. We got things in the pipeline for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, like we said, there will be some days that you won't be with us here live on a stream, but it's because we're gonna be working behind the scenes to bring you stuff like this, like some merch and a live show and stuff like that, and hopefully y'all dig. And honestly, like now that we're on the subject of merch, let us know what you guys are looking for, because we have been talking about it and we just don't know what y'all want. Do you guys want hats? Do you guys want socks? Do you guys want chonies? Do you guys want like tantarans or what? Like, come on, like let us know.
Let us know.
Yeah, there's some LCD tangas, but no, I mean if it's just as simple as just like a t-shirt with the logo, I mean that works too. But just let us know what y'all are feeling, and we'll try to make it possible for you. And then Riley says the higher the socks, boy. Yes, y'all know. So anyway, at some point we're gonna get back to this game, but not. Thank you guys so much for the super chats and for the questions, because this is the stuff that we would have announced you anyway, but like you guys are being proactive and I like it. Yeah, let's go. So anyway, I believe telling you about how the Galaxy were a man up, but they didn't know they were a man up. We were questioning if they knew they were a man up,
and then Elijah knew, and then Elijah found out in the 41st minute.
Oh yeah,
right?
Well, before Elijah found out, Peck serves him on even before that, I remember before Elijah's goal, he had another run-in on goal. I believe a similar kind of play, and I believe it was Peck as well. And I remember tweeting about that, and then hitting send, and then Peck sending him again for the goal. And so they were, obviously working on something together in training. And it paid off. And yeah, you're right. I mean, Elijah for Elijah and Gabriel for a moment, they hooked up, they woke up and put the Galaxy up 1-0. But that's just pretty much as good as it got on the first half, man. They weren't playing with any urgency. I mean, again, they're not playing for anything really, but they were a man up. This is an opportunity to really turn it on for your fans and stuff like that. And again, they just weren't playing and like they had that extra man advantage. The homie Adam back within the super chat. Thank you so much. He goes, if back you guys don't mind me asking, back again. Do you guys commute far from the stadium, such as the IE, or are you guys still local?
Me, yes. Rob, no.
I used to do like 45 to an hour to go to the stadium. Fortunately, now I live between 15 and 20 minutes depending on traffic, so it's a lot more palatable. Yeah, I mean there have been times when that traffic has hit, and y'all know what that's like, and it's from Glendale to the digs has turned into an hour and 15, an hour and 20, and that's never fun. But yeah, it's a lot better for me now, so blessings, just like JP would say. We have another super chat, this one from Blood and Fire Within. And
is that Big Leo?
I was about to say, I was like,
what's up, Leo?
Just my eyes deceive me. Is that the homie Leo? What up, man? It says definitely a Galaxiana hat and patch for Kit.
Right on.
Ooh,
that's a good idea. Yeah, I think Edgar would. I think Kansas would like that as well. Big Edgar.
Yeah. I like that. I like the patch for
I like that.
King
I like
idea.
it. I like the idea.
We hadn't considered that one before. So we do have a hat. We do have a patch idea. G Camp says hats and jackets. We have Rowley saying socks. Sock check. So yeah, we have a couple of ideas now to run with. And maybe we'll even do like one of like the public voting things, like, hey, we decided we're gonna do this or this, and you guys get to decide which one you guys want. That might be fun too. More info incoming. So also returning to the second half here between the Galaxy and Dallas. So Galaxy come out into the second half, and again, no urgency whatsoever to be found. So much so that they get scored on. Blood, they get scored on. Literally, they get, and not even just like, Dallas put a really nice passage of play together. No, I remember looking at this replay and going, there's no Galaxy defender in this frame.
Unreal.
In this replay frame. Like, there's
Unreal.
no one around him. How did he? Greg said it in the post game. I haven't seen this back to see really how they pulled us apart so badly. And I was like,
meanwhile, we're thinking like, Baba, you don't want to see that one back, Baba. You don't want to see that one back.
yeah, no, man. I was just like, I was like, no, man. Like, but yeah, it was kind of embarrassing how badly they were broken down just with.
I mean, it shouldn't surprise you though, from a team that gave up 65 goals this season, Papa. It shouldn't surprise you.
Well,
right?
Anderson Julio gets on the end of a Samuel Sarver ball, and like I mentioned, just beats basically the entire Galaxy defense to tie up the match 1-1. No one even in sight of him. And then it almost happened again in the 77th minute. If not for Emilio Garces, who beats Sarver in a foot race.
Yeah, unreal.
To basically tackle the ball away. Sarver's in on goal. And the Galaxy have to go through the embarrassment of losing this match 2-1 to a 10-man Dallas team. And all of a sudden, Farrington is a genius. So, thankfully, Emilio Garces, San Emi comes out of nowhere, and he puts in the tackle. And it looked to be going towards a tie, but then, like Ananda mentioned to you guys, Gabriel Pecci gets the game winner. I let out a huge sigh of relief, and the Galaxy win 2-1 on the second to last day game of the season at home. And yeah, that's another win for the Galaxy. Unfortunately, none on the road, but giving the fans a little something to be happy about. Again, this was kind of the reverse, the revenge match for that loss 2-1 last week. This is Wynder's second goal, Ananda, and he has now 2 goals and 1 assist for 2025. I think if he is on this trajectory, I think we might see an Elijah Wynder that maybe gets like a 5-5 or 5-7 next year. Like that would be a nice little progression for him, right? Diego Fagundes, 1 game left to go ahead and get 80-80. He is on 79 and 79 at the moment. Hopefully, the Galaxy make it happen. I did ask Greg if that was a particular focus at all. He did say that he wishes they had that luxury, but they're just kind of trying to go out there and win the game. So hopefully Diego makes it happen. But that's, again, Greg says it's not the focus. Ananda, what are you seeing on the stat side that led to this win?
Yeah. Again, if you look at the stats, guys, the thing is about this one is it was the Galaxy playing against a 10-man FC Dallas for a large part of the game, right? So the stats are going to be obviously skewed for the LA Galaxy, but I'm just going to run it down really quick box score rundown. I mean, no surprise, guys. Galaxy dominated and outclassed the 10-man FC Dallas, right? In all those offensive categories: possession, 68-32. shots 14-9, shots on goal 5-3, total passes 696 to 264. Again, these should not come as a surprise. Let's see if there's anything else. Again, expected goals 1.5 to 0.8. You would expect an 11-man Galaxy team to run up that expected goals number, right, Rob? I honestly thought that this game was going to run like what we saw against Santos Laguna, right? Like in that match when they were down a man or two, perhaps in that game, and we ran it up, right? So that's what I was expecting, but it never happened, like you just said. And you know how I always go with this one key stat thing. For me, it kind of builds off that XG point, which is for being 11v10, Rob, the Galaxy only had one more big chance than FC Dallas. FC Dallas had one big chance, and that was the breakaway, the goal, right? Meanwhile, the Galaxy were seemingly struggling to break down that low block of FC Dallas. Again, 2 banks of 4. Eric Cole just went 4-4-1. Musa, you hang out there. Drop back if we need to. We're going to set up 2 banks of 4. Sometimes we're going to throw 5-6 guys in the box. And this is what I said. This was 11v11, but I said to Jose on that last show, I said, I think the Galaxy will struggle if Eric Cole sets up shop and we have to break it down. And it happened, right? Even against 10 men, that proved to be the case. But I think this just goes to our one of our talking points, Papa, which is, I mean, the Galaxy, yes, we let out a huge sigh of relief, but we were completely unconvincing for most of this match, in my opinion.
Truth. No, you know it. I know it. Greg knows it as well, and he said as much. I mean, he said that the team was impatient and that they were just kind of running around. And you know, they basically remembered at one point. Oh yeah, we have a man more than they do, so let's actually win this one. But he actually, you know, Greg actually said that, you know. But he also said that they were just kind of running aimlessly around, you know, and then that in their impatience to go ahead and try to break this team down, they just took themselves out of the important positions that they needed to be in. So, you know, this is just an instance in which the Galaxy's maybe inexperience comes to the fray a little bit. And they're so kind of high up on the, like, yeah, we're a man up now, like we got to go for it, that they were forgetting to do the little things right. And like I said, they, more to the point, they just didn't seem bothered. Like they weren't, like, the intensity was lacking, I feel like.
Well, maybe. I think maybe in the intensity of the passing. Like sometimes when you like passing rhythm and stuff like that like there's a rhythm and a feel to it, right? And what was I say? What was the one comment I kept saying up there with you, Rob? I said, this is like horseshoe football right now. This is sideways and backwards. Like, why isn't anyone not taking maybe a risk or seeing a pass through the lines instead of just sideways? I know what we were trying to do. We were trying to move those 2 banks of 4 around, but they were very stingy. Like, let's also give Dallas a little bit of credit. They were very stingy, right, on the night, Rob. But this is like, see, this is when you miss quality in the final third, like a Riqui or a Marco Royce, guys that could just like put a pass on a plate, that can see a pass before it actually happens. And maybe we were missing that a little bit in this match, like a guy that just unpicks the lock. But again, that just comes with player quality, right? But it also, like, you brought up the point of maybe like, where was the urgency? Like, I kept saying to you, like, which is the team that has a man down right now? Is it Dallas or is it the Galaxy? Like, I felt like it was a role reversal, right? Like, Dallas to me just played, it seemed like they played with a more sense of urgency. Maybe that was like my eyes are playing tricks on me, because maybe it's like the Galaxy were being patient and maybe I was misconstruing that for a lack of urgency, but I'm not sure. Like, I was just thinking, like, I was just thinking to myself, like, come on, guys, like, we have a man up. Like, we've got to do what we did to Santos that day, which is absolutely like put our foot on their throat, right, and just absolutely kill off the game, which we never did.
Yeah, no, you weren't wrong. I mean, I think this is a pretty succinct sentence here. A tepid lack of urgency by the Galaxy. Yeah, they just weren't. Again, they just weren't going for blood right there at the end. You know, they had an opportunity to really go for it, and they didn't. And maybe that's again inexperience, or maybe that's just lack of that killer instinct that last year's team had. But they not even chances were created enough to say like, they could have put more away. Nah, I mean it was what it was. And they did just enough to go ahead and win. And it's kind of just like they did just enough to go ahead and not get the wooden spoon. If you've been following along, the Galaxy are now pretty much guaranteed not to get the wooden spoon mathematically. If at the moment the Galaxy, Atlanta, and SKC are all on 27 points. The first tiebreaker is wins, followed by goal differential. And then, of course, here in the standings, DC United is in 30th. They play Atlanta United on decision day. If Atlanta wins, DC finishes below the Galaxy on 25 points. If DC wins, Atlanta finishes on 27 points, but loses the first tiebreaker to the Galaxy. And so the Galaxy would just need a tie at that point to go ahead and not get that.
Well, even if they lose, doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. It's done.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Right?
Yeah,
right. Because they lose the first tiebreaker. So that's the thing. Like, it's you know what's crazy is the wooden spoon final is on decision day. Atlanta versus DC United. How crazy is that? I'm actually gonna watch that game. That's gonna be a very interesting game.
That's gonna be a fun game.
Watch. Like, we should do a live stream. like we should ask Jose, let's do a live stream for you guys on that. Like, that would just be
a fun game to do, man.
By the way, Atlanta United, with the money that they've splashed this summer, holy cow, that's more of a train wreck in my opinion than the Galaxy. But that's another conversation for another day.
Yeah, everybody should be very disappointed.
Holy cow!
Even in that conversation, right? So anyway. Galaxy are spared the wooden spoon this year. Congratulations again, did just enough. Ananda, do you have a defending the badge winner for this one?
Well, we did talk about him in the spotlight. I think I am going to give this one to Elijah. Papa. I am going to give this one to Elijah just because I think this is. I'm trying to think of, did he have a breakout game before this? If not, I think to me this is the breakout.
Colorado.
Game for him. Yeah, Colorado, but again, it's hard to say too. It's hard to like be fair about this because we did play the Galaxy did play a 10-man Dallas team, but I thought he showed some things in this game. I thought he showed some personality. I think you're right, that Colorado game, he did show like me those physical attributes, like the way he was able to break out of a press. But in this game, he showed a different facet of his game, which is his ability to get forward. Now, if you think about next year, that 8 position, that we'll call it the Mark Delgado position, right? If Lucas Sanabria and Elijah Wynder can fill that position and fill it well, I mean that's a good start. But those are big ifs right now. Like, Lucas Sanabria has had a very stop-start season. I think there's still some question marks around him. Elijah is just starting to get his mojo, and I'm hoping that continues in the offseason and into next season. Those two players are going to be very integral to the Galaxy's fortunes next year in that position to fill the shoes of Mark Delgado, right? It's a very hard position to fill. But I see something in Elijah. I just hope that like he catches on really quickly, and I also hope that the introduction of Riqui Puig and Marco Reus in that midfield helps his game, helps open up his game quite a bit to make those lung busting runs, to make those deep lying runs into the attacking third, right? Where we've seen like he's got some pretty good instincts there. So Elijah Wynder for me, Papa.
I'm gonna go with Eddie. Quite simply, we're talking about another game if he doesn't make that tackle. And not only just that tackle, but he was credited with an assist, 96% pass accuracy, 2 tackles, 2 clearances, 2 interceptions, 9 recoveries, 3 duels won. There's a difference in this defense when he plays. It's evident when he does. And so I just got to give it to him, man. And just he's a difference maker. So I got to give it to him.
So again, talking about next season, right? He is our best 1v1 defender. And one of the skill sets that I am hoping that the Galaxy fill is better 1v1 defending, Rob. We rely too much. The Galaxy relies too much on team defending, which is okay, which is what you need. But at some point, especially against the better quality players in this league, you need really, really good 1v1 defenders. I think John Nelson is a very underrated 1v1 defender, by the way. So,
Truth.
so I think that's part of it too. But I think we need more of that skill set in the back four and also in the defensive midfield spots.
We have a super chat. Thank you to the homie Adam. He hits us up with a super chat. He says, "Hey guys, is there any team from the Eastern Conference who would want Galaxy to play for next season?" Yeah, this is an easy one for me all the time. Nashville.
Yeah,
the homies live in Nashville. It's a great fun city. I've loved being there. And then the one time I went to a game, the Galaxy played there. Everyone was super nice. I think it was like their first year or second year, and they didn't have any rivalries yet. So they were just like, "Hi, welcome to our stadium," and I was like, "What the?" And I was like, "All right, cool, yeah, like right
yeah,
on."
that'd be a fun trip. That'd be a fun trip for sure. But I think I'm done with trips, man. I'm telling you, I'm such a bad omen for this team. Anyways,
I don't think it's you this year, man.
yeah,
Really,
I don't.
think it's
By the way,
you.
I wouldn't mind NYCFC too, because I love my New York, so that's like my
Oh
second
yeah,
home away from home.
yeah.
So that'd be nice.
It'd be great to go ahead and open that stadium. The Galaxy
I know,
usually
right?
get chosen for stuff like that, right? Because of
Yep, yep, yep.
everybody wants to be associated with that good Galaxy name, right?
Or
So
Orlando, so we can go to Disney World. That works too.
that works too. A lot of good options here. Kansas, the homie Edgar says, "Want to see Galaxy play versus Montreal and Atlanta to take those trips." Oh yeah, Atlanta's one of the ones that I've been trying to do away for a cool minute. I've been trying to go
Yeah.
get some lemon pepper wet at the Claremont, man, for sure. Dang, I mean, and I've heard that the soccer culture there on game day is just amazing. So I've been wanting to check it out. That's definitely one as well, Atlanta. So, and then I don't know though, Edgar. I don't know if I can do Montreal. It just will hurt seeing Jalen play against the Galaxy, and I don't think I'm ready for it. Anyway,
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Truth and Mama Truth, who were at the stadium the other day. It was awesome to see them and their family.
yeah, definitely. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. Ananda, y'all know where the Galaxy is at. They're still in last place here in the West. They are not in the Supporter Shield standings anymore. They are not getting the wooden spoon. They're on 27 points. And just again, the less said, the better on this one. So that's where the Galaxy stand. We're gonna go ahead and hit some quick announcements and get on out of here, chat. First and foremost, we want to say congratulations to our friends Edwin and Astrid, who got married this past weekend. And man, just such nice people. Just when I met them, they were nice enough to take a shot on a young kid who needed a ride to the bay, and we had a great time, and the pleasure to know them, and hopefully they're having a great time on their honeymoon. Happy birthday as well to Emilio Garces, who I chose for my defending the badge. He turned 24 on Saturday, way to turn 24 by getting a win. Congratulations to Joseph Paintsill and Ghana for qualifying for the World Cup. They were the first African nation to qualify for the World Cup. Second was Cape Verde, who is the tiniest nation to qualify, and it's the first time they've qualified as well. So congratulations to them. Right now, the Galaxy have the ballots open for their player of the year, best overall player, best defender, humanitarian of the year, academy player of the year. Y'all send me your thoughts. Let me know who you think I should vote for.
Did you vote? Did you vote yet, Papa? Did you vote? Did you send in your ballot yet?
No, that's what I'm saying.
So deliberating, huh?
Well,
Okay.
no, that's what I'm saying is that like I can be swayed, I can be convinced. So go ahead and tell me what you think, y'all. Tell me who you think I should be.
When is
for.
when is the cutoff? When is the cutoff?
Oh, that's a good question. I should find that out.
I was gonna say, if it's Friday, maybe we should ask our listeners on Thursday to give give you a candidate to chew on, to think about.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's I don't know when the cutoff is.
yeah, no, we got to find out one of the cutoffs. And Adam, absolutely, Columbus would be all time. I have some friends that live in Columbus as well, fantastic people, and it'd be great to go see Wilfred Nancy team in person and just see how they move. But anyway, go ahead and let me know, guys. Let me know what you're thinking for Galaxy Players of the Year. Shout out to the Dodgers who beat the Brewers 2-1 in Game 1 of the NLCS. If you are a Dodger fan, this segment of the show is for you. If you're not, you can tune out for the next 15 to 30 seconds. Game 2 is tomorrow in Milwaukee. That goes down here on the West Coast time, 5:08. This one was a nail biter, but the Dodgers just go ahead and squeak it out. The Outlaws are having a Halloween party, y'all. Take it from me. These things are very, very fun. Maybe a little bit too much fun. Y'all have some fun in moderation. But this is Dia de los Outlaws on October 25th at 9 p.m. Go ahead and hit them up for more information. Hit their DM for details. And then, of course, the annual Lars Formal is happening on October 18th. If you don't know, then the Lars Formal, like I said, it happens every year. The last game of the year, all the Larsers get dressed up in their finest, and they have their Player of the Year voting, and they also have a little potluck as well. So that starts at 2 p.m., goes down at 2 p.m. Go ahead and dress to impress. And then, Ananda, I think that kind of wraps it up for us, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, it does.
Guys, on Thursday, October 16th, this is going to be the first time we've ever done this. Join us for a very special episode. We're going to have a listener appreciation pod. So, the phone lines are going to be hot. They'll be open. And then a week from now, on Monday, October 20th, we'll be back with you for our last reaction of the year as your Galaxy take on Minnesota over the weekend in their last game. But of course, we got to be back with you and tell you everything that we are feeling about this one. Anything else to add here, Ananda, before we get out of here?
No, man, I'm super excited for Thursday. We're definitely going to have a lot of fun with a lot of the, the members of the community. And then at the end, who knows, Baba, we might just drop the link and be like, hey, whoever has something to say, we are here for you. Again, this is kind of like a call-in show.
Dangerous.
So we'll let in all the trolls and stuff. No, super fun. Should be super fun. And yeah, I cannot wait. So until then, guys, I will see y'all later.
Yeah, until then, man. Thursday is gonna be a lot of fun. We say it's for y'all because everything we do is pretty much for y'all. But this is also going to be fun for us too because we talk about the preparation that goes into the pod and stuff like that. And this one is literally going to be what y'all want to talk about. So really for us, there's no prep, no agenda. We just going to go into it and we're just going to talk to us, y'all. Talk to us. Let us know what you're thinking. We can't wait to see you guys on Thursday. But until we meet again, there's just one thing left to say, and I think you know what it is, Ananda.
Dale, Baba.
G's up. Take it out.